Everybody, this is Ominous for Responsible Gaming. We're doing episode 161 of Ominous Designs. We're doing it very early because I'm not going to be here next week, so the streaming is going to happen right now, and the card making as well. And I'll still post the article on next Wednesday, so don't you worry about this. Today, we're gonna have a little look at something that I think I've been playing with, toying with this idea a couple times before, but I want to try and see how we can have some fun mashing cards together, particularly creatures. I think because I think it's a little bit more fun. You could definitely do that with instants, sorceries, even enchants, anything actually. And what we're gonna try and just mush a couple creatures together. So I'm gonna show you the first idea that I had when I kind of searched back for this concept. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna look at, let's say, I want to try and get Trinket Mage. So Trinket Mage does this, and it's a 2/2 for 3. Now, let's say that this thing over here costs just about that price, and I forgot to switch again, and it costs about that price, and it is actually a 4/3 with flash, and it says target. Well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep the surprise. Keep the surprise. You might have already understood what I'm doing. Oh boy, that is a little bit of a lot of a text. So yeah, so weird? Is it weird? I think it's probably a little bit weird. But it's still kind of fun. The thing that's really cool with those is that both of the cards are costed in such a way that putting them together is fairly realistic. It does make for a card that's quite a bit better than what their face, well, arguably, but probably quite a bit better than Goblin Dark Dwellers. But Goblin Dark Dwellers was mostly just a fine card. I'm sure people will strongly disagree, but it was just mostly a strong card. It kind of barely got any play in Standard. It barely got any play in Modern, and that's about the end of it. And I don't particularly assume that this would be seeing all that much constructed play, but since we're in Kaladesh, there's always a chance that there is that great of a one-cost artifact that some whatever deck would want to play something like this. But I think regardless, it's kind of a hilarious card. You do lose a lot of your punch when you pay 5 to give flashback to something. But I mean, we've seen Torrential Gale-Hulk, Torrential, like here. It's not how you spell it, apparently. Torrential, 2 R's, yes, like torrents. Torrential Gale-Hulk is, oh yeah, it's without paying its mana cost. Correct. So it might actually, kind of border on the not that useful. The problem is, I don't think there's that many. And I'm switching again. I don't think there's that many very cold, typical, representative cards in blue that we could be melding. Who might have been forgetting about? I mean, you know, blue creatures. I mean, obviously there's blue creatures that one thing we could do, but that would make it so that they're not exactly melded, is we could meld the ability of the Torrential Gearhulk and Venser. The problem with that being that it would make for a card that's extremely similar to the Torrential Gearhulk with an extra ability to send a spell back into the owner's hand. So like, because it would be about a 6-drop, and you would basically have a smaller body and cost the same price. And that's what I said, and just do exactly like the Torrential Gearhulk, plus it would send a spell back. So that would be kind of annoying. What's another? Is there another blue kind of staple? I guess there's the Vendilion Click ability, but the problem with the Vendilion Click ability is it's bloody wordy as well. Let me look it up quickly in terms of text. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it's pretty freaking wordy. I don't know. This is going to be a lazy episode anyways, I think, because I'm in such a logistical pickle. I do have to take a flight in a couple hours. So basically the major downside to this card is that it costs 5, and then you still have to cast whatever card. The upside is it's still a 4/3 flash that gets you an artifact. So there's a chance that you're kind of sort of okay with it, and then you can still probably afford a 1 or 2 drop if you're especially if you're a control deck with a whole bunch of mana. So whatever, that's a thing. It is now a thing. It will probably be a human wizard. I have to check with Trinket Mage. It's probably an artificer, I would guess. It's a wizard too. Huh, okay. Well, alright. So we even have the types. So that's neat. We're just gonna move on straight away then to another one. So there is one that I want to have a little bit of a thinking about that could be fun, and it would cost something like, if I keep to the theme of just even melding the mana cost, it would cost something like that. It would be something like that. And it would be something like this, which is actually the most annoying part, I think. And it would do something like this. I need to stop talking like that. Okay. Oh, dead giveaway there. And then he would do something like, I can't help myself. Don't even know what kind of accent that is. And then he would do something like that. So this does seem a little powerful. The mere fact that for 5 you basically add 1 mana. Oh, wait a second. 4 and 2. That should be 6. Alright, well that's a little bit more reasonable then. Young PZ is 1 in a red. Hellrider is 2 in a red. Okay. I like it a little better at 6. Because who's gonna play that? I mean, well, I mean you could. But it's still a 6 mana drop in a kind of sort of potentially aggressive shell that cares about creating more elementals, except you already are at 6 mana, so it's kind of late to get the engine going. So it might have enough tensions and inefficiencies that packing those 2 cards together and that much punch is fine. Which, in all fairness, at the same time says, well, this is kind of a conflicted design that doesn't work all that well, but it is also something fun that I wanted to do, and it is actually succeeded at being fun, I think. Yeah, and that would be something like Devil, Shaman. I'm surprised I didn't realize the young Pyromancer was a Shaman. Pyromancer doesn't ring as a shaman thing to do. It's magic. It's a caster. It's a wizard. Neat. I'm trying to think quickly if I could just spew out a like grain or something version, but you know what? I'm also gonna have to find names in art, and I'm really running out of time, so I don't think I'm gonna push it. But I think it would be a very fun exercise to be trying to create more of those with different colors and different cards, and I think you can definitely find some things. Like green has a couple of pretty easy to use creatures. White has probably has a couple. I would see something like maybe not Mother of Runes, even though I mean I think it's something fun in this idea that Mother of Runes would be inefficient if melded with another creature because he would be much more expensive, but at the same time he would kind of be our get out of jail free card that we would allow you to merge 2 creatures and add their effect together without creating a complete monster. So it might be that actually Mother of Ruin could be melded. That being said, in like the reality of things, Wizards probably wouldn't print a Mother of Ruin effect. Except they would possibly print a Mother of Ruin effect if he was on a 6, probably not 5 drop, but if he was on a 6 drop, yeah, sure, whatever, you know, maybe. So I actually kind of enjoyed the inefficiencies in the melding, in a, well, I guess that's okay to do it then, kind of way. Yeah. I mean, you could try and meld 2 drops, for example, to make it like an actual bomb. I'm sure you can find something like that, especially maybe in blue, maybe in red. Basically Snapcaster or Young Pyromancer. I mean, hell, like look at this. Like, what if you did that? That would be insane. You know where I'm going with that, right? I don't think that would be okay. I don't think that would be okay at all. You know? You get a 4/2 for 4 that has flash, that gives you a flashback to one of your cards, and that starts making elementals. I think that would be nuts. And it would be like this: human, shaman, wizard. I wouldn't make that card. I think it's way too powerful. That being said, it does also provide the tension that I was talking about, where you pay 4 mana and you're supposed to do a flashback on top, and also you come into play 2 turns later than Young Pyromancer, and you want to start an engine going. So it might actually not be that busted, and it's also pretty weak body. so you cannot really get into fight with anything. Like any of those Pyromancer or Snapcaster can get in front of this and just trade with it. So it's very possible that what you're looking for in a young Pyromancer and in a Snapcaster, you just really don't have anymore over here. So I am actually not even sure this is unacceptable. That being said, I think I'm going to keep it in the colors, mostly because if I went for this one to push the envelope, I would have to try and come up with melding another couple of other colored cards, and I don't really have that handy. I almost want to give it a go, but green is not that easy to come up with a representative card. Because the more I think about it, the less I'm convinced this is not okay. Like I said, mostly because the main point in both of those cards kind of is that they cost 2, and they can come down early. This is probably still too good, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm happier with those. I kind of really don't have a green card. We can still kind of try and come back to this conversation and meld more creatures, and I invite you to do the same and come up with some fun stuff. I'll probably revisit this this concept, and you know what? I'll even probably post this guy to see if people think it's acceptable at all or not. Because those are definitely on the clunkier side, right? This costs 6 and has the young Pyromancer ability, which is a bit of a unfortunate event. Except this is great in the late game, but I mean, why not play a Hellrider, right? It's not for 2 extra attack that you want to pay 2 more red mana or colorless and a red. Just because maybe you're gonna get some elementals, and for this guy it's kind of the same. I mean, I put them together because they're very easy to recognize and it's kind of fun to meld them together, but fetching an artifact and giving flashback doesn't particularly go together, and then you get flashback but you already paid 5, so they're definitely on the clunkier side. But I think that's what makes them, like, they could be totally rated. It could be okay to just completely mix those 2 cards together, and I'm repeating myself now, so that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go ahead and try and find a couple of illustrations and names for those beauties, and I will post them on Wednesday as per usual. That is all. Hope you liked. Do leave me feedback in comments, and I will be seeing you middle of next week for episode 162. Alright, have a great week, and play responsibly.